Hello and welcome to another exciting new episode of Talking About Stoicism, where we're going over the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and slowly but steadily we are moving up through the Emperor's final book, Book 12, Section 8. Look at causation stripped bare of its covers. Look at the ulterior reference of any action. Consider, what is pain? What is pleasure? What is death? What is fame? Who is not himself the cause of his own unrest? Pardon me. Reflect how no one is hampered by any other, and that all is as thinking makes it so. Well, if this is not a beautiful short summary of Stoicism, I don't know what is, right? Reflect how no one is hampered by any other, and that all is as thinking makes it so. You don't get bothered by other people. You bother yourself. It's not what they say or what they do, it's how you think about what they say and do, and that is what offends you. I think I've said this a number of times, but that's the one I have to keep reminding myself of. It's not them. If what people say or do upsets you, you're the one getting upset. And you are the one who allows yourself to get upset by what other people say or do. Now, this is very easy in theory. In practice, it often is a little bit more difficult, because when people say something and it gets to you, then it is getting to you, and then you get emotional, and then all kinds of things happen. Right. But it's an interesting way to look at it. And this is similar. We have already had a discussion about a similar principle, but I do think that this principle remains interesting. What is pain? What is pleasure? What is death? What is fame? I think that we strive to obtain certain things. We strive to avoid other things. But when you really consider what those things are, often your viewpoint of them changes a lot. And I have often told myself, for example, in a situation in which you experience physical pain, which can happen, you can fall or hit yourself. I am known for my natural grace. So I may or may not hit myself once in a while, or hurt myself by stumbling or falling, or stumbling on a flat surface, or walking into things. Anyway, that's not relevant. What is relevant is that then you're in a little bit of pain, and it's nothing terrible, it's nothing unbearable. But I typically, and this is genuine, I typically end up telling myself pain is action potentials. Pain is just a signal that is coming in through nerves, goes through spinal nerves, goes up the spinal cord into my brain. It's not that bad. I've also used this at the dentist once or twice, where sometimes things are a little painful. I don't know if I'm the only one, but then they put that stuff in they inject you, and it's supposed to not hurt, but I typically feel something. You too? Is it just me, or am I crazy? Anyway, but then too, I try to really think of it as it's just a signal in my brain. It's a signal in my brain. And it's just the way it is. I can't avoid this right now. Strictly speaking, by the way, gate theory of pain, okay? This is super cool. Why do you rub your elbow when you hit it? Do you ever ask yourself that? Did I ever explain about that? Okay, so in a nutshell, very briefly, this is a theory that states that sensory information and pain information both go up through nerve endings through your spinal cord into your brain. But they kind of use the same pathways, or at least similar pathways. So, what you can do, try it next time. If you hit your elbow or something, you get that pain, rub it vigorously. And there was a gentleman called Malzak who came up with the gate theory of pain. And what he says is basically what you can do then is close the pain gate. Now, I mean, I'm not talking about massive, chronic, huge pain, right? I'm talking about simple, like you hit your elbow. And what you do then is that pain information is going up, but you're providing a competing signal, but vigorously rubbing your elbow. And then they compete. and then that diminishes the pain signal because now it has to compete with another signal. Whoa! I know. Beautiful bit of neuroscience. And then you have less pain. Now, when your entire arm is ripped off by a shark, I don't know if that really works as well. But then you're in shock anyway. But anyway, you get the point. But notice there too, there is another way to close the pain gate. It's not just you providing that input bottom up, as we say. You can also provide output top down. Your brain can say, look, it's sad you're in pain, but right now you have to run to survive. And you feel less pain. That's top down. If your brain can do that, then that's pretty interesting, because you could use that in other situations too. And by analyzing, this is clearly, Marcus Aurelius was obviously anticipating the gate theory of pain, because I do think he's onto something. If you really break something down, this may sound aromantic, but I think it's a great way to do it. If you break down these things, what is pain? What is pleasure? What is death? What is fame? Right? People seek out fame, and what is it? And what happens to people who become famous? It's not unequivocally positive, I would say. So then, is it really something you want? If you can break something like that down, right? I would really want to live in a larger house, okay? What does that mean? Well, it means I have more space, okay? Do I need 4 bedrooms? Not really. Do I want to pay more property tax? Not really. Do I really need a big house? No. Why did I want that in the first place? Well, because it's what is expected of me by society. So it's an expectation of other people that makes me want to do this, etc. This was just an example, right? I'm just trying to give a reasonable example of how you can break something down. When you do that, I think often you find that what it is you desire or seek out is not really something that you really need or want, because it's really not that interesting. And that, I think, is very interesting. And the same thing applies to something more traditionally considered more negative. Think of death. What is death? Well, you cease to be. And that's it, really, right? I mean, we don't know if there's anything after death, but I mean, you're just not there anymore. And that's it. Like you used to be you, and then you're not you. I don't really believe there's anything after death personally. So for me, it's a matter of, okay, well, this was B.R.E. Brown. These atoms that make up me, they're going to be dispersed. They're going to go back into the universe. And that's it. It's not so terrible, is it? In a way, I still exist, even. Just in an altered form. That's an Aurelian thought as well. We talked about that. That's one of his statements. We talked about this a long time ago. When you can break things down like that, I really think your life becomes easier. And the things you seek out to obtain, or the things you seek out to avoid, they become less desirable or less scary, which in both cases are good things. I'm not saying you cannot pursue anything nice in life, because that would be kind of silly. But to get obsessed with those things, that can be problematic. And if you find yourself in that sort of obsessed state or obsessive state, which some people do, I think this is a good way to kind of reason your way out of that. And at the end of the day, as the Emperor says, all is as thinking makes it so. And that applies to this as well. Death is scary if in your mind it's scary. If you think about it as a scary thing. If you can bring yourself to not considering it to be a scary thing, what does it matter? And what does it really mean for you? Are you really Is it really required for you to then be scared of that thing? Or can you just let that go? And I think if you can dissect the things that frighten you in that way, your life has the potential to become a lot easier. These were my thoughts for the week. I hope this was interesting. What do you think of dissecting things like this? How does it make you feel? I'm glad to see you next week. Bye.